Let's bring in our senior Washington correspondent, Dan Raviv. And Dan, any White House response to the House Intelligence Committee voting to release the Democratic memo and trigger that 5-day waiting period now that Adam Schiff was just referring to?
David, the response actually came before the House committee voted. A White House spokesman said that the same procedures that were used in checking the Republican memo last week will be used on what we could call the Counter-Memo from the Democrats. Indeed, the president has 5 days to consider whether some of the information in the Counter-Memo is classified, whether it should be redacted or blacked out. Adam Schiff also expressed concern that there could be redactions aimed at protecting Donald Trump. I have to say that many Democrats are disturbed that the president decided to be, as they would put it, vicious in his tweet where he described Schiff as being a liar and a leaker. They wonder if in some way the president was setting up Schiff as some dangerous enemy whose counter-memo has to be blocked. Also, Democrats are more outraged than usual, yes, than usual, that the president decided to say that by not applauding last week, the Democrats were un-American and treasonous. David?
Dan, even some Republicans are scoffing at President Trump's claim of complete vindication in the Russia investigation. What is in it, though, for the president to keep going there?
Well, just keep in mind, he is the president of the United States, and if he says something and keeps repeating it, that he's been vindicated by last week's memo, then there will be people, I'd say millions of people, who believe it. He is the president. They don't choose to read the Republican memo. They won't read the Democratic counter-memo if it is released. Now here's a new Reuters Ipsos poll that perhaps proves the point. 73% of Republicans, 3 out of 4, agree with this statement. Members of the FBI and the Department of Justice are working to delegitimize President Trump through politically motivated investigations. Oh yeah, among Democrats, 3 out of 4 see the opposite, that Trump and his party are trying to delegitimize the FBI and the Department of Justice. One last thing. The New York Times now reports the president's attorneys are advising him to say no if the special prosecutor does try to set up an interrogation or interview as part of the investigation. David?
And Dan, that would be the big headline tomorrow again. There hasn't yet been a formal public request, but again, if Bob Mueller were to go to the grand jury and get a subpoena, is that still the position right now? Is this part of the dance, or is this a final no, don't do it?
Well, this goes back, of course, to scandals of the past like Watergate. If the indication from the White House is that the president won't voluntarily be questioned, will the special prosecutor try to issue a subpoena to compel the president of the United States to testify? That's constitutionally iffy. David?
Dan Raviv, our senior Washington correspondent. Dan, thank you.